Hey everybody, and welcome to actually not a hockey video. If you clicked on this video expecting hockey like my normal content is, I have to apologize, this is not hockey related. However, it does cover one of my other hobbies, which is board games. So for anyone who is a regular viewer, I thank you for clicking on this video. And if you do want to continue watching, even though this is not hockey related, I have put a hockey Easter egg in here, so if you want to watch the whole thing, let me know down below in the comment section after if you did find the Easter egg and what that Easter egg was. But for anyone new to the channel and clicking on this video because of the title, because of what it is, welcome. My name is Neil, and I make typically hockey videos here on YouTube. So this is very different content for me for this specific video, but I'm happy to bring it to you because I get to share one of my hobbies, which is board games. Now, I've always loved board games. Probably always will love board games, but in the past couple of years, I've gotten pretty serious about it with my group of friends, and we've been playing quite a bit of board games, specifically Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. Now, this video is specifically going to be on Frosthaven. However, both board games are very similar. If you're clicking on this video, you probably already know that. But for anyone new to the game, I'll just give you a quick rundown. Frosthaven is kind of a turn-based cooperative strategy game that you play with your friends. There's a map with tiles and stuff, and each person on your team plays a different character with different abilities and stuff. You go into the map or the game, and you progress through it together cooperatively to complete objectives, kill monsters. Every map's different. There are over 100 different maps that you can play through in Frosthaven. I don't know the exact number, but it's kind of around 100. And it takes between 2 and 4 hours to get through a map, depending on the difficulty, the amount of people on your team, your pace, your decision pace on rounds and stuff, how you decide to play, what cards you choose. I'm not here to tell you all the rules, that's just a very quick rundown. I'm here to share my board game, or our board game room. We have a section of my friend's unfinished basement that we've created as our kind of board game room. We've built a table, which is the original Post to Post podcast table, actually. We've refinished it, put some neoprene covering on it, and made the rest of the room kind of board game friendly. We've got cameras and mics and lights and snacks and drinks and all kinds of good stuff. And I want to show you the entire setup, how we use it, and how we integrate someone who's not actually physically there. It's a 4-player game. There's only 3 of us who play in person. Our 4th actually lives in America, in the United States. I live here in Canada. So we actually have him video call in. He controls the computer, and he's our 4th player. So in this video, I'm not only going to show you the room and how we play, but how we play with someone who's not actually here and how we get them to kind of join for the game. So the next section of this video is going to be all B-roll. I'll do a voiceover for the entire thing and walk you through it. But warning alert, it's pretty nerdy. Okay, welcome. This is the board game room. There's a lot to dissect here, so I'm actually going to replay this clip and let it loop, and then I'm going to pause it so we can kind of point some things out here and go through it one by one. So throughout this video, we're going to go through things in depth, but just as a broad overview right now, off to the left, we got the TV, the computer, the fridge up there. Behind that on the walls, that's just like a fake paneling wall that we kind of put up on the right hand side, on the other side of the table. Like I said, this is an unfinished basement, so we really needed to kind of create our own room and enclose it. So that's actually just like fake fabric that's hanging, and then some black fabric curtains actually, I think, on the other side. And then just to the right of that where you see the entrance, that's the unfinished basement part. That's where we walk in. And then on the other side of that is just another piece of fabric and then some purposely cringe tapestry that's in the back there, as well as, again, more black curtain. So essentially, it's just a fake room. And if you look above, you'll see the ceiling that's black. That's actually black fabric as well. We just completely covered the ceiling with that, and it works fine. All right, so let's start digging into things a little bit more individually. We do have a TV in there, and although we don't necessarily use it and watch it, it is always on in the background. If hockey's on, we throw the game on there. If we've got nothing else to throw on, we just put the fire on. Now for the most important section of the entire room, it's the snack section, the snack cupboard. We've got all kinds of things in here. We've got gum and maple cookies and chocolate. There's some Maltesers, Sour Patch Kids. There's M&Ms there, waffle sticks, I don't even know what they call them, but yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff. Canadian specific things as well, like there's caramels, there's Swiss rolls, we've got some wagon wheels as well. I think wagon wheels are in other countries actually, but I'm not sure about those first two. You can let me know down below in the comments. Some prepackaged brownies, and of course some chips too. We've got the classics, the Cheetos, the Ruffles, the ketchup chips, Canadian, all dressed as well, another Canadian flavor. Down below Got some Big Daddy cookies, a Costco staple. If you've never had those, definitely go check those out. And then some chocolate bars, Kit Kat, Reese peanut butter cups, some hard candy as well with some Jolly Ranchers. And then we've got these chocolates from Costco. If you've never had those, they're so good. Definitely go check those out. And then some gummies. I think these are Jason's favorite, the Twin Snakes. And here's another clip of this same shelf, but just a month later, essentially. Our snack shelf is always being restocked with different stuff. There's always lots of stuff there to eat and enjoy, but every once in a while we switch things up and get new things. And in terms of the fridge and our beverages, we have water in there and Pepsi and bubbly and all kinds of stuff. Again, that's something that changes quite frequently. Back over to our bookcase, we keep some of the actual game items on here. In this specific little folder, we have all of the map tiles. Map tiles are organized by letter and number, so we have all those completely organized, so whatever map we're playing, we can easily find the map tiles. Speaking of making things easy to find, we have every single little tiny piece that go on the map depending on the map, like it could be a boulder or a table or something. All of that is organized in this little very cheap fish tackle box that we got from the Dollarama, and then Jason printed all of the icons on there so we know exactly which one to go in and where to find it. And then we have the enemies. We've got to organize those, so we have another fish tackling box, a much bigger one, all labeled by mob name so we can easily find exactly the mobs that we need per map. It makes it super simple and very organized. And then the characters that we play, we have all those organized as well into little plastic containers, and we've got the logo of that class on the front. So whenever we reach the end of the life of a character, we can easily find the next character that we want to play, look through them and decide, you know, what we want to play. Maybe we've got a friend over who's new to the game and they want to choose a character. So everything is completely organized. Okay, I really wanted to make this video without spoilers because although you may have Frosthaven if you're watching this, you might not be at the same level that we are at. We've progressed through the game quite heavily. We've unlocked every single class except for one, and I'm going to show you the actual standees right now. I've painted all of them. So technically that's a spoiler. You're not going to see the class name. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but you're going to see the standee. So if you don't want to see that, feel free to look away for the next little bit because I'm going to start those shots right now. So in terms of painting the characters, some are a decent size and they're pretty easy. Some are very small and very difficult. I am not skilled whatsoever, but it is something that I do enjoy. Even though I'm not good at it, I do really like painting some of the characters. Some of them are very difficult and very intricate, but I still have a really fun time doing it, and I've painted pretty much all of the characters that we've unlocked. I actually only have a couple of left to do, but as we unlock them and as we get ready to play them, I do paint them so they're not just the stark, gray, boring as they come look. And as for the display cases, we got those very cheap off of Amazon, really cheap, and they work pretty good. Now to power those, it's just USB. We got these two USB extenders and then rigged them up through power behind the bookshelf and then ran them up there and screwed them in. In terms of lights, we've got some simple cheap lights as well. We've got a hanging light. We've got our over the table main light that we use. It's a newer, actually videography light, and we just hang it from the ceiling and then point it straight down, and it acts as a perfect light for the top of our table, and it lights everything exactly how we need it. Hanging from the ceiling are just some string lights. They're nothing special. I think these were like $9 off Amazon. Nothing special with the computer either. This is my old computer. It works fine for what we need, and you might ask, well, what would you need the computer for playing a board game? Well, one of our members, like I said earlier in the video, actually does not live in Canada and doesn't come to play with us in person. So we have to live stream this feed back to him using that computer. So we've got cameras set up and a mic set up. Well, I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But in terms of the view, this is kind of what he sees when he logs into our computer. So he can see the board game from two different angles, as well as a webcam view too. So you might be able to peep a face over there in the chair to the right. That's actually him. We thought it would be funny to print his face off and put it on a on a little mannequin thing and put it on the chair. And depending on the map size, we may just go with one camera so we can see the entire map. It really depends on the map. Powering our other computer is just a laptop actually, and we use this to run the tracking software or tracking app called Gloomhaven Secretariat, I believe it is. It is designed by, honestly, I can't remember his name. I'll put it on the screen, but whoever designed this is an absolute genius, a legend. This is an amazing program, an amazing app. If you do not use this when you play Gloomhaven or Frosthaven, you are genuinely missing out. It is incredible. You can track everything. And our fourth player who is not here can also log into this on their end, and they can adjust things and move things around as well. So it's a really wonderful app. In terms of the mic, we just have this relatively cheap, I think it's called HyperX mic. That's off Amazon as well. I think that was under $200 and it works great. And our setup is constantly evolving. If you look at the screen on the right, that is different than what you saw earlier. That's our old view on the monitor, and the light is different as well. So we're always trying to upgrade little pieces here or there, trying to make the setup better for ourselves and our person who logs in and plays with us. Now, in terms of camera equipment, we are using my old Sony 4K camcorder that I used to film actually most of the original post-to-post videos, and it's here permanently at this board game setup. So we've got that as our main view, and then that feeds right into the computer, and then our fourth player can see that easily. Bada bing, bada boom. Our second camera is a Sony DSLR. That is set up to be a little bit more adjustable, so I can kind of move that on the fly. And then our third camera is just the webcam that sits way above, very sketchily on the end of a piece of wood. Now, with all those cameras, the mic, the computer, monitors, everything, there's a lot of cables. Our cable management system is not perfect. It's a little bit messy, but it is organized at the same time. We've got wires running from cameras underneath the table, and then behind the TV, from the computer up into the ceiling and through some little hooks. So it's all exposed. It's not pretty, like I said, but it is organized in a way where it's not in the way. Okay, in this next section, there's a fake game set up on the table, so no spoilers here. It is not a map that exists. We just made it up so to take this video, essentially. This is just a kind of an example of a typical setup for us, where our cards are lay, how we kind of organize the things ourselves. We have these little boxes, 3D printed boxes, that one of our friends created. And we use these during the game to organize our cards, depending on the round and everything. And this is how the map looks underneath the lighting. It's very easy to see. There aren't really that many shadows. So we feel pretty good about our lighting right now. But again, we're always evolving. We're always trying to make things a little bit better. Now, earlier in the video, when I was explaining what Frosthaven was, I mentioned that there are a lot of maps that you have to play. Well, off to the right here in this shot is the entire kind of world of Frosthaven, and that's where all of the maps individually go on the world. And as you progress through the game, you unlock the maps in sticker form and then stick them onto the actual world map. So it's not just a board game that you unpack every single time and then you play it and then you put it back. It's a progression. If there's over 100 maps, personally, we play every Friday. We play one map every Friday. Well, if there are over 100 maps and we only play once every Friday, if you do the math and count up all of the Fridays in a year, which I think there are, 52? That means it's going to take at least 2 years for us to complete the game. So it's not just a board game, it's a progression of a world with events. Off to the left on this wall is the Gloomhaven map. That is the game that predates Frosthaven. It's very, very similar. It's essentially the same game, different characters, different enemies, different maps. And then in the middle, that little tiny one, that's actually an expansion game called Jaws of the Lion. We do technically have that, although we've not really played it that much. Once we're done with Frosthaven, we'll probably go back and finish Gloomhaven and also finish Jaws of the Lion. And just to touch on really quick, that fabric wall, it looks terrible, but it blocks off the room and it's light, it's easy to move, so it's fine. Here are just some shots again of the entire room from every single corner. There are some Easter eggs in here, there are some purposely cringy things put in here, but generally, this is how it looks. It's nothing special, but we are proud of it. It's the perfect space for us to come every single Friday night and have some fun. So thank you everyone who watched that, whether you're new to the channel and you just like Gloomhaven or Frosthaven, or if you're an already subscriber of the channel and you just watch it just to watch it, just to learn a little bit more about me and maybe try and find that Easter egg. So I really appreciate you watching it. If you are new to the channel, would love to have your subscription. And I know that my content isn't going to be Frosthaven related. It's not going to be board game related. So I completely understand if you don't want to subscribe, and it wouldn't surprise me if you didn't. But if you did find this video helpful, it would really mean a lot to me if you did hit that thumbs up button. This was obviously a little bit of work filming all of this stuff and going through the entire room, so I appreciate if you drop a like if you did like it. So thanks once again for watching, I really appreciate it, and I hope maybe even if you haven't played, maybe it kind of sparks your interest to play. If not this board game, maybe one in the future. Board games are pretty fun with your friends. So thanks for watching, have a good day, we'll talk to you soon. Adios.